Now, I'm going to give you much more concrete and startling evidence of this being a coordinated campaign, which I will get onto in one sec. Regardless of who is behind it, though, the case is being built that William is lazy, that he's a bully, that he's obsessed with privacy, and that he has a faux happy family life. And I say good luck to him. Good luck to them with all that. They are underestimating how popular Prince William is. And for those that seek to bring down the monarchy and to make sure that Britain becomes a republic and to make sure that there is no more monarchy, that they wipe out the institution, their main hurdle they have to get over is Prince William, because his popularity is off the charts. Then add that, Princess Catherine, Princess Wales, then add the gorgeous children. They know that once the Waleses are sent to the throne, that their cause is dead in the water. And that's why they're taking, they're really going for it now, because they perceive, the king as being a weaker target. And so, of course, they're making hay while the sun shines. Now, there's been dire warnings from Robert Jobson, of all people. Now, it's interesting that he used to be the royal editor for The Sun. He also worked for numerous newspapers, as you know, not working for a newspaper at the moment. He's also rather good chums with Omid Scobie. And I'm sure they are still in communication. Now, he has warned Prince William that the public might lose interest. Careful what he wishes for. And not living at Buckingham Palace will make him, and I had to chuckle when I read this one, removed from the people. I would say the Buckingham Palace would be more removed from the people than a sort of, a medium-sized mansion in Windsor Great Park. So this is all heavily spread, of course, and doubled down on by the Harkles, Toadies, Marie Claire, Yahoo News, In Style, you know the drill, all the drill. Over the last week, they've been regurgitating old gotchas from Spare or Wah. They've been dragging up everything they can that paints Prince William in a negative light. And the Royal Rota don't seem to admire people that stick around and do their duty. They seem to admire people that abandon their post, because they are falling over themselves to be very admiring of Harry at the moment. The Telegraph just nearly wet their pants over his surfing video. And sections of the Royal Rota are clearly livid that Prince William wants to run his own show and will not let them in. I actually made a tweet where I said, William, when you ascend to the throne, get rid of the Royal Rota. It is irrelevant. It is out of date. You don't need it. And it's only really handy for people that horse trade with them, which has been going on since time immemorial, this horse trading, and also that those that choose to weaponize it against an enemy or a foe. And William will have no part of that. He said, I'm not going to do that, because he saw the damage that happened between his mother's office and his father's office. And he said, I am not going to do that. He doesn't want his children to inherit something so disgusting. He has cut all ties except allowing them to cover official tours or official state occasions. And they are poking and poking and poking and trying to get a reaction. And he will not respond, because he is not a reactive fool. Now, I'm going to go on to some of your comments, and I'm going to show you the big stuff. Okay, here we go. Jill Ackerman, I can't read that out, Jill. It's got a swear word in it. But she says something along the lines that Harry needs a cup of grow the F up. Tracy, if they wanted a private, there wouldn't have been a letter on letterhead and signed. Yes, and a royal emblem. And also, I doubt that the letter would have been put in plastic to make sure it didn't get rained on and so that everyone would be able to read it. Yes, Amy, I like Rebecca English too, but she is head of the Royal Rota, and I am not a fan of the Royal Rota. I think it needs to be gone. I do not admire it at all, but I'm quite sympathetic to you liking her as a person. Elaine, to me, as an American, it was an enormous slap in the face to the Queen after she told him, no, Charles needs to do something. There's never been any consequences for their actions. And if ever there should be consequences for actions, it should be this. Get a load of this. I'm just going to remove that. Now, this is appalling. This goes beyond actually picking on the Walesers and goes into really horrible rhetoric, basically propaganda. I would put it in the realms of disgusting. And it is the Daily Mail, who Rebecca English represents and is head of the Royal Rota, that is the publication that published this. I find it just awful. Anyway, I'll let you, I'll show you more and you can make up your own mind. I won't rant. The dark past of William and Kate's forever home, slavery. And an equerry who blew his brains out. Isn't that so kind of them to actually print something like that? And they're taking their children to live there as a lovely family home. George, Charlotte and Louis. Can you imagine the damage that these people are doing to their family just by printing that headline? It is just beyond the pale. Beyond the pale. I cannot believe it. Anyway, back to more of this horror. This was written by Christopher Wilson. He wrote Charles versus Diana, the book that I did a review of with James Whittaker. Obviously, he provided the historical context for that book, and James Whittaker provided all the gossip and the inside juice. But yeah, so Daily Mail have chosen to publish this, but you haven't seen the worst of it yet. Okay, there's the headline. How much due diligence did the couple do when it came to the history of their 18th century pile before agreeing to move in? Oh, it gets worse. They use a photograph from the TV series Roots. Now, I remember being a very young girl and hiding under the kitchen table or the family room table, trying to get to see this series because I was too young and I was always sent off to bed. But in the article in the Daily Mail, and take this in, they've got the headline about slavery, they've got the headline about the equerry blowing his brains out, and then they provide photographs from the series Roots, depicting the most disgusting, horrible, history ever that would distress anybody to see, but it was a TV series. And that's why, of course it was real life, but do you get what I'm saying? They actually illustrated this article with a photograph from a TV series to make people emotive and disgusted, and it's all aimed at the Wales family and the Wales family's choices. Now, that's no accident. That is very definitely how propaganda is rolled out, people. It's just beyond belief. Then this quote, slavery is not the only story attached to the house once known as Holly Grove, but since renamed Forest Lodge. And look, I'm not even sharing the worst of it. I'm just giving you a taste of it. Now, how I know that this is a coordinated campaign designed to bring down Prince William and make him an attempt to make him unpopular is this line. If William doesn't already know it, it may come as an unwelcome reminder of the troubled West Indies tour which he and Kate undertook in March 2022. And there you have it, folks. That disgusting headline using an image from the Roots TV series, which is distressing, obviously, and then tie it to their tour they did in 2022. It's not just me, is it? I mean, the implication is clear. It is very, very clear what the Daily Mail published. Look, if I was William, I'd sue their ass off over this one. I would go for them. I have a feeling that this could even be libelous, but of course he won't. But the implication is clear, what they're making out about them. It's very, very clear. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot not to pick up the message. Then they go on, and this is the final horror I will share, that in 1973, diagnosed with terminal bladder cancer, there was an aide that lived there, Sir John Ard. He had, I mean, can you believe it that they've actually brought this up when we know the history of Catherine? We know, I'm not implying that she had bladder cancer, but we know that she had very serious cancer. She had to have preventative chemotherapy. She's about to move into this home for a fresh start. And what do? They tell us about someone that had terminal bladder cancer that blew his brains out at Forest Lodge, in the bedroom of Forest Lodge. Now, how cruel could you get? Are you just appalled? I am appalled at that. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.